Hello, everybody. This is Tuesday, October 24th, 2023, and you're listening to Survivor Circle. Hello, Maria.
Hello, hello.
Nobody is going to believe this, but the color of the shirts is entirely random.
Yes, completely not planned.
Yes, this is we don't do uniforms here. We just grab whatever's in front of the closet. I think, at least my
Yep.
case. Um, it's just
Excuse me.
you had a really good show last night
Thank you, thank you. I didn't get through as
over
much
at
as I wanted to.
I don't know where all it was. I was over at ERT, I think.
It was on the
Tune
Earth
in on
YouTube
YouTube.
page. That
I'm
was the
sure
only
it was.
place that it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we had it was quite enjoyable.
hmm
A little more background on Octagon Hall and
I
your
have plenty
adventures.
more. I
What
didn't
are
get to.
your different adventures?
Yeah.
Oh, so let's see. I guess I picked the topic for today, kind of at the last minute because I didn't have a clue,
hmm
and it's all about stories. I mean, and I guess all us old farts, we go back and we look at all the different stories we listened to, that were, I don't know, we got them in stories and storybooks. We got them in cartoons. We got as clips out of movies.
hmm
All the, and the best stories were the ones that were told by someone. My grandmother had a million stories. I wish I could remember even some of them. There are a few, but very few. But that was a thing, that brought the whole group together. All the different stories, the stories about what happened to somebody back when, but I guess the thing that I miss is there were shared stories, okay, but we don't have that so much anymore. Because there's so many stories out there. There's so many ways. Oh,
Maybe we'll plan our outfits next time, Bobby. This was completely, totally
yes.
random because we both started cracking up. There's some other place about stories that I didn't think about that we got, but remember
Okay.
music when we were in elementary school? We had music class.
Okay.
And you
Kind
had
of.
you had little stories in these songs.
Yes. Okay.
Like,
Ballads especially. Yes.
yes. And they taught that. I'm sure they don't do that. And I don't even know if they teach music in elementary school anymore.
Oh,
Our music, all it was she walked in with a record player and plugged it
hmm
in and had the record or the album of the day, and we would learn several little songs off of it. So
Okay. I'm trying to
anyway,
think. We had not so much, but still, yes. There was that. There was oh,
hmm
even then, really.
hmm
And I feel so out of it because I'm old and out of it. uh, that shared culture that we were exposed to. I mean, the local culture and the larger culture that was back in the old days when you only had 3 stations to listen to, on TV.
right, yeah,
Everybody came in Monday morning, and you had all seen, that hot, what happened to Colombo on Friday.
oh yeah,
That was it. You had something to share. But now or oh my God, the football game. Okay, you come in Friday, come in Saturday, and you're talking about Friday night football.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you were definitely talking about the local football team because that was it. That was where you were, you
Right.
know,
Right.
and it
That's
was a
all we
good
have.
day, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it creates a feeling of community
Right.
that I think we're missing it really bad, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need something like that again, but I don't know how to do it. But yeah, you've got somebody was your Instagram name.
It's Maria CW270. Yeah. The C's for my middle name. So
I wondered about that. I thought, oh, did you get a new email?
yeah. No.
Nope.
I had
Yes.
to, my Instagram account got hacked, my Twitter account got hacked, so I lost those and had to
Uh-huh.
start over. So what's on the screen is it's not Twitter anymore, it's X.
Oh,
That's
okay.
on Twitter.
Okay.
270 is my zip code, Ron. That's where I live. My middle name
Yeah.
is
We were talking before the show to kind of introduce things so we could have some idea what we were talking about. Or
Mhm.
so Maria would have some kind of idea of what I was talking about.
Yeah.
We were talking about that, about Disney stories, you
Mhm.
know? So many, Davy Crockett, Daniel Boone, uh,
Mhm.
all those legendary
Pocahontas.
Pocahontas. Yes,
Mhm.
long before there was a Pocahontas in the Sacagawea. Long before they had the cartoons.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
Well, and we had books that we read that had all of these stories in them. You would
absolutely.
have several different fables or tales or something like that compounded in a book
Yep.
that kept us entertained as well.
Anthologies. Oh, I used to love those.
Mhm.
I remember one in specific that I must have read it in when I was third, fourth grade, something like that. That had John Henry
Mhm.
and Casey Jones
Oh,
and
remind me about Casey Jones. I haven't heard that in years.
Casey Jones was an engineer. Yeah, I mean you know who it is, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and but I mean there's dozens and dozens of these things,
Mhm.
and a lot of them were, and they carry over. What I was saying earlier, they're carried over from one culture to another culture. You
Right.
know, the the Babylonians had their stories. They're just so stories. Okay, how the
Right.
earth was formed, this and that and the other came from. There were Native American stories
Mhm.
for all these things. There were
Right.
Greek stories. There were Northern European stories.
Mhm.
Okay, from their uh, pagan uh, panoply of gods. You know,
Mhm.
all these things were there, and they were shared in the culture that they came out of, and shared beyond the culture.
Right.
And they gave us a context for things. You know,
Mhm.
uh, that is funny, Ron. That is funny. That is really funny because did
Mm.
Tom Sawyer teach you how to paint a fence?
Yep.
He most certainly did. Because that was one that I was thinking about bringing up something along today. Because
Mhm.
I mean that's one of those stories that you could remember. You know,
Yeah.
uh, Tom had to Tom had to paint the fence. before he could go out and go fishing.
Mm-hmm.
And he started talking about one of his friends stopped by. He says, well, you know, this is a lot of fun painting this fence. It's very artistic. I'm really getting the joy out of it. Here, you try it. And then somebody else walked up. Oh, you guys look like you're having real what we are. We're having the best time all ever.
Yeah.
So here's another. You can paint some too.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty soon, he had half a dozen people there, and the fence was painted.
Yeah,
and
he could go fishing.
And he hadn't dipped a brush yet. You know?
You're right. Yeah.
So yes. And the skill of the storyteller is like a lost art now. So, yeah. Yes.
Bobby's cracking me up.
No, these are not ghost dogs. These are active and noisy.
Yeah.
Actually, they're telling me right now, Grandma's home.
Yeah, and she's not getting in the house fast enough.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
They used to be able. They used to pick it up before she got in the driveway. You know.
Oh yeah. So, now their hearing's getting a little bit.
I don't know. I don't know why they'd stop.
You're talking about stories and your grandmother.
Yes.
I don't remember. My grandparents never told stories about anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They never did. The most of a story you ever got was when I was young.
Yeah.
But I don't even think. I don't ever even really think I've heard my grandparents say anything about when I was young. This is what I did.
Mm.
The only stories I ever heard about my grandmother was from my mother.
Yeah. See, that's the thing about stories. They're usually about somebody that's not quite there, not there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the very few that I remember about from my grandmother. I was trying to dig something up. Would have been my great uncle, her brother.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. About the time that he almost beat the calf to death.
Mm-hmm.
He had been visiting his girlfriend down the holler, and it was dark, and he was coming back through the woods, coming home, and he hears this sound following him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, really dark.
Mm-hmm.
And he's looking around, and okay. Kept walking. Looks around again, and he sees this white thing. Just you could just barely make it out, following him.
Mm-hmm.
And he walks a little faster, and it walks a little faster.
Yeah.
And he got down there, and he found him a stick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this white thing come out of the darkness at him, and he whacked it. Here it was calf with the white star on his face.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess he got into some trouble over that.
I'm sure he did.
Oh yeah.
Sure he did. Yeah. But yeah, that goes along with those little ghost stories.
Yep.
And of course, every place like that has any kind of activity has stories that follows it for years and years.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they were.
Oh, the stories about Prohibition, Lorraine's family.
There were some, but not too many for me. That was that basically once again that just wasn't even talked about.
Mm-mm.
Okay, that was, or it was post-prohibition, but good grief, my aunt and uncle made a damn fortune running moonshine.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, they did.
I bet.
They owned a taxi company, and they didn't make any money doing
Yeah.
fairs. I mean,
Right.
they did, but their money wasn't made on fairs. Their money was made on late night deliveries. Of
Yep.
whatever,
Whatever it took, however you needed to make that, it'd be great.
Exactly.
I'm trying to think. So, my grandfather, never even heard anything about the Depression from them. I never heard any kind of stories about how they lived or, what was going on. Let's see, what was it, 1929 when the Great
Crushed.
Depression hit?
Yes.
Okay. So my grandfather would have been 20 years old. No.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. My grandma was born, I'm pretty sure she was born in 1897.
Mm-hmm.
So, couldn't think of it. Let's see.
No, he'd have been 30.
I think my mom was born in 1928.
He'd have been 30, right? 2019
Yes.
or 29. Shit. 1909, he'd have been
29 plus
1919, he would have been 20.
He
So
would
he was 30 years old when that hit. But I believe, and I don't know how old him and grandma were when they got married. But now he was in the cavalry.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know his service record. I don't know when he got out. I just know he was in the cavalry.
You said he was born in what again?
1899.
Okay. So he would have been, well, he probably enlisted for World War I.
Probably.
During that buildup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, they were doing. They had the horses. They had horse cavalry.
Yeah. He was in the horse cavalry, because the spurs are hanging somewhere in one of my family members' house.
Oh
after
my God.
he passed away. Yeah.
That would really be something. Yeah, so there were stories, but like you said, so many of those, and they're lost stories.
Well, a lot of them too, because
unless we can gather them up and make them safe, put them back together, or just make them up. Damn it. I'm sure there.
That's what's happening now.
I'm sure there were a lot more stories that like everybody had their own story, and everybody had their version of the story. But the ones that I was really coming to mind with are the cultural stories, the shared stories, the shared legends, the shared the blueprint that your culture is written on,
Right.
Yeah, and there's parts of that there are parts of that I have spent my life really trying to recover.
Mm-hmm.
And a big piece of that is my grandmother's Indian heritage.
Yeah.
And there are things that she did and taught that I still where did she get that? What did that come from?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. You're not allowed to drink milk and fish at the same meal.
Okay.
Why? You tell on me.
Well, see, and that's the thing. That goes along with the story about what was it? Somebody that cooked a ham and they cut the ends of it off.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Okay.
question was asked, why do you cut the ends of it off? It's like, I don't know. That's what my grandmother did.
Ah,
That's what
yes.
my
Yes.
mother did. And then
Mhm.
they said, so they asked the mother, why do you cut the ends of the ham cut the ends of it
Yeah.
off? She said, I don't know. That's what that's what my mother's always done. So they asked the grandmother, and she said, well, I had to cut the ends of it off because it wouldn't fit in the pan.
Yeah.
Nobody knew why she did it. They just knew it turned out really good. So they
Mhm.
did it exactly like she did it. Oh, look who showed up for this one.
Jay, glad to see you, bud. I very much enjoyed having dinner with you the other day. So,
Ooh, what did he cook?
uh, ziti, pasta and sauce and some really, really good red velvet cake.
Mm.
Yes. Mm. It was quite delicious. So there's so many things like that.
Mhm.
It's like now that's a good now that's a good story.
Mhm.
Nobody knew why,
Grandma cut the ends of the ham off.
Yep. Had to do that to fit in the pan.
Yeah. Everybody else thought it had to do with
But it
what
became,
it tasted like.
but it became a family custom, you know?
Right. Grandma did it, so therefore I need to do it.
It worked, okay. Um I thought it was ziti. Wasn't sure. It's just funny. There's so many things like that.
Mhm.
You were talking about radio stories, some of the old
Oh,
radio
yeah.
shows.
Mm-hmm.
That's some of those are just absolute classics,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I guess really in a way some of them are things that probably but certainly couldn't be on mainstream air these days,
I wondered about that.
like Amos and Andy,
Yeah.
for those who are old enough to remember.
Mm-hmm.
That was black culture on TV back in the 50s.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. A lot of the TV shows came from the old radio classics because they
Yes.
could finally take it off of the radio and let you see what you thought. And your imagination does a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
that's the thing, because I've seen music videos, I've listened to a song, I've and you get that picture in your head, and then you
Mhm.
see the video, and it's like, well, that's completely not
Yes.
what I was expecting.
I
So, but
remember. Oh God. I remember like video, first the first music video.
Mhm.
Before there were music videos, I remember a oh gosh, like a public channel. Okay,
Yeah,
public. Yeah.
it's probably Casey's top 10. Casey
No,
Kasem's top 10.
but this is before that. I remember an early Beatles song, a
Mhm.
day in the life. For
Mhm.
those Beatles fans,
Mhm.
where somebody had done like a movie screenplay, acting out the scenes portrayed in the music. Okay,
Right. Okay.
and I thought, wow, that really, and it was really done just from the lyric. Okay,
Mhm.
and the little 30-second, 15-second clips.
Yeah.
Okay, and it added such much richness to the story.
Mm-hmm.
But then came MTV music videos,
Mm-hmm.
which were an entirely different,
Yes.
an
Yes.
entirely different concept.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, although there were a few that did that kind of reinforced the narrative of the songs, but
Mm-hmm.
mostly they were just wild and crazy stuff.
Completely different
Yes,
than what was. Then it makes you rethink. It's like, okay, people are crazy.
yes. However crazy I thought they were, people are even crazier than that. And a lot of that was, what the hell was that guy on?
Kind of like your son with that comment right there.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. With the Wizard of Oz, the Wizard of Oz, and Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What was it? There was a good Pink Floyd. Anyways, doesn't matter. That's not what we're talking about. I
Oh,
don't,
I
all the
didn't know
stories.
Ron had roots in Utah. As
Who?
long as I've known Ron, I never knew that.
Oh, hmm.
See?
That is interesting. That explains a little.
So let me see. But I see there, going back, and I came up with this kind of this topic. I thought, that's what I need to. I've been kicking this idea around about doing some short
Yes.
videos. Okay,
Hmm.
I said that would be really awesome if I could
Yeah. If
pick
you
up
take
some of
shorts of those
pick up
stories
some of
that
those
we don't hear
little
anymore,
five
that'd be
minute, little
great.
4 or 5 minute stories,
Yeah.
and take a little time with them. And
Mm.
but I'm saying those things are going to take more work. Okay, because I'm
Yeah.
going to have to write it and script it and time it to make it work. But
Mhm.
still, I think it's really worth doing. I think it needs to be. There's that part of our culture, you
Mhm.
know, past and future, that just needs to be done.
Right.
Because, like I said, I've been reading science fiction since I was in the second grade, and probably by the time I got to like 12, 13, I thought, oh, wait a minute. This story is just a rehash of an early Greek mythology, or
Mhm.
this is taken from this whole storyline setting is
Mhm.
just a another a movement, a resetting of the same scenario that was in a cowboy movie, or this
Mhm.
is the same scenario as was in one of the great myths, Theseus and Andromeda and Hercules.
Mhm.
All these got every one of those Greek myths
Right.
has been rewritten as a science fiction story
Mhm.
somewhere.
Zeus, Medusa, all that
Yeah,
good stuff. Yeah.
yeah, fighting, and it's so reusing other people's stuff
Mhm.
is it's a tradition. It's okay. It's a tradition.
Right. Right.
we're trying to bring it back a little
Mhm.
bit, because I mean I remember people that were gifted storytellers, you know,
Mhm.
and that's that's a as we said, the comedy's gone. Comedy's gone.
Right.
The storytellers are. I don't know. Does nobody have time to do 5 minutes to make, or 10 minutes to do a story?
Mm-hmm.
It's like everything has to be right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, and two, a lot of, okay, so bedtime stories
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
are the
Sure.
greatest, you know,
Yes.
even if, because I can remember my dad would come, I would go to bed and he'd come in there and I'd pick a book and he would read it.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that's where a lot of your stories come from.
Sure.
And I can even remember little stories came with books and a little, is it the
Hmm.
45? That's the
Yes.
small one.
Right.
That was your first
Oh
audio
my
book.
God. Oh
And it had
yes.
the music with it.
There was somebody that. Oh, Andy Griffith.
Yeah.
Andy. That was. He was on uh, records before he ever got into the
Yeah.
business. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
Was doing like skits like the three little pigs.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
see, and I can remember, I'm trying to remember, I couldn't listen to it when I
Hmm.
was little at night because the music was so scary and it had to do something with a wolf and a little boy, but it wasn't the
Okay.
little boy cried wolf. It was like a hunting.
Peter and the Wolf.
Could have been. I'd have to go back. I'd have to go
Okay.
back and look at it. It was a little bitty children's story,
Hmm. Yeah.
but I can remember the three Billy Goats Gruff and the
Yes.
troll that lived under the bridge.
Where did those come? Those were. Where did those come from?
I don't
Those were. I think those were European, but I.
know.
It's,
And that kind of sounds about right with a
mhm.
troll.
Yep.
I'm, there was, and I found when my son was little, I found a lot of those books for him just simply because I wanted him to have them because that was stuff that I read when I was little. Oh, thank you. Here, when wintertime comes, it'll be just a bunch of sticks stuck up.
Yeah.
If the
Okay.
sun was out, it would look better.
Well, wait, which one? Which way? This is fall, fall back. So let's. So is it going to be lighter, longer?
No,
No.
that's springtime when it's
No.
lighter, longer.
Spring. No.
Right
In
now, if
fall, we said
when the
back. So
time
it'll be.
changes again, it
Mm-hmm.
is here Central Time. It is
Seven
6:04.
o'clock. Okay.
It will be dark.
5:04.
It'll
No.
be 5:04 and it'll be dark because in December it's dark at 4:30 and I cuss like a sailor from
Yes. Okay.
December to April.
Yeah. No doubt. Get to drive home with your headlights on.
That was another reason why out there at work I picked being at work at 7:30 in the morning so I could get
Hmm.
off at 3:30 in the afternoon so I would be home before it got dark because when I
Yeah.
worked at the bank it was from 8 to 5 and it was
Hmm.
dark at 4:30
Yeah. Yeah.
and then I had to drive 40 miles home in the dark,
Hmm.
not on good roads. So I was
Yeah.
like, no. Fall behind, spring forward. That's what your child said.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll fall back an hour.
Okay.
The bars get to stay open an extra hour.
Just remember the important things. You got
Yes.
an ex. If you Yeah, if you're
And
out.
then in the spring, they close an hour early.
Yep.
So, yeah, get your priorities straight. That's how you keep up with it, Charles.
Oh my God. All that ever meant to me was I had to drink. It usually just meant I had to drink faster.
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
Mm. Mm. But so let's see. Always so many different ways to go with things. But no,
Well, you just take your
I'm really,
history. That's
I'm
a
really, I'm
story.
really, I'm really going to work on that.
The shorts, that would be good. That would
Yes,
be good.
yes,
Yep.
yes. You know, so many, much of that. The
Mm-hmm.
1001 Nights, you know, the GDs, you know. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that collection of stories that Sir Richard Burton stole from the Middle Eastern cultures,
Oh yeah.
uh, and they weren't particularly, um, and thank goodness,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that so many of those stories from different cultures got stolen because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of that stuff is lost now. That's like I said, the Native American stuff is thankfully probably towards the end of the 1800s
Mm-hmm.
they started recording and keeping some track of
Mm-hmm.
that culture
Mm-hmm.
and taking down some of the old stories and
Have a
it
small
just,
book somewhere in my house. John
mm-hmm.
E.L. Tenney wrote it, and it's I think it's called Skinwalker, but it's got a lot
Okay.
of and the book's not that big. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
but it's got a lot of the native tales in it.
Yeah. Yep.
The stories that they told, which make absolute that I've not read them again, but I read that book and it makes
Mm-hmm.
absolutely no sense to me because I have no concept of how they lived, what they believed,
Mm.
nothing.
Okay. Yes.
So all
Yeah.
of their
It's all taken out of context.
yes, all of their
Yes.
symbolism is completely different than what we know. So it's really hard to understand it. But I mean, I can read it and go, oh, okay. So is that what that means? Oh, here you go.
What do you want?
Was what was the
Wind
movie
talkers.
Kristen Slater?
Wind,
The
wind,
he's making a joke. Oh, the Wind
wind
Talkers.
what were the Navajo code talkers? Yes. Yes. Okay. I'll have to look. I'll have to look at
But you
that.
know, I mean, and here we are in America. They kept talking
Mm-hmm.
about, and you had so many different. You had a thousand, I'd say thousands of
Mm-hmm.
different tribes of Indians,
Yes.
and they all had their own language.
Mm-hmm.
They all had their own beliefs. They all did their own. Some were evil. Some of them weren't. You know, I mean, most of them were, but you had some of them that would just rather cut your throat than look at you, which is absolutely not any different than what the hell's going on today.
This is true. Empires tend to be violent.
Hmm.
That's how they get to be empires.
Right.
You know, because you look at the famous uh, North American empires were
Mhm.
the Incas, who were absolutely bloodthirsty,
Yes.
and the Aztecs, who were horrendously
Yes.
bloodthirsty.
Yeah.
And most of the Navajos weren't.
Yeah.
The uh, hundreds of tribes in the Pacific Northwest were
Hmm.
not. You know, the eastern woodlands, the Creeks and the Cherokees, and maybe not the Cherokees.
Yeah.
or the Iroquois, and I mean, there are so many different cultural groups
Mhm.
that well, you know, they lived here for 10,000 years anyway.
Mhm.
They didn't all kill each other. They didn't kill each other off. So,
Yeah.
oh my God.
We had a lot of Cherokee and Iroquois and Shawnee around here, I think.
Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah, I forgot about them. Sioux.
Sioux. Yes. They were
Sioux.
named Sioux.
Maybe that's no, I'm gonna shut up and leave that one alone. But anyway, there's a lot of stories from them that have been completely ignored and brushed off because they were taken as idiots. They were taken as
Oh yes, absolutely.
stupid people and stuff like that.
In
And
fact, I guess this goes back. I'll take it back again to that book I just found and read. A lot of that is the cultural stuff, going back to prehistory in some cases.
mhm,
Okay, and a lot of it was taken from Native America. I didn't know, and this is one of those on my look up and read thing.
mhm,
There was a, I'm going to say Iroquois, but I'm not really sure. There was an Iroquois chief or shaman or diplomat, whatever, that went to Europe and like did a tour of Europe.
mhm,
Okay, back in the 16th, you know, back in like 1650, 1670,
mhm,
and was explaining to those traditional monarchies there
mhm.
how democracy worked in America in the
Yeah.
tribal systems.
Mhm,
Okay, the and a lot of that is like the beginnings of the Enlightenment era
mhm.
that was brought in by Rousseau and all those crazy Frenchmen that ended up breaking up the monarchies and introducing democracy to that era and basic human rights because the Indians were generally not number one, you didn't own the land.
Right.
If you don't have title to the land,
Mhm.
it you have to look at the world under an entirely different side of the world. You know, the
And see,
world looks different. The
that is
world
so
looks different when
crazy.
you can't own it.
Mm. That is so crazy. It's like, and we've talked about this before too. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, how can you sell a plot on Mars to put your name on or flag, or how
Yes,
can you buy a
exactly. Or
star
the
or a
moon, or
constellation?
the moon. They sell
Yeah, or
that
on
too.
the moon. It
Yeah.
was like nobody owns that shit. How are people this stupid to buy into it? That's
Yeah.
what gets me. I'm gonna pay you for something you don't own.
They got money that they just don't know what to do with. I guess I've never had that problem.
Yeah, that's just, to me, it was insane. But people don't think like that. They're just like, oh, how cool! I'll get this little piece of paper, or they'll tell you, if you pay us this amount of money, we'll plant you a tree in the Amazon. Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
sure you
Can
are.
I go down and carve my name on it?
Yeah, can I put my initials in it? Can I say I own it? They can't cut it down. How's that going to work?
Yeah. I just so much of that, and it comes back to this, different cultures have different stories, you
Hmm.
know, and we need to there's so much going on in the world now where you can't put your head in another person's place. You
Mhm.
can't. You need to. You need to learn to look at their different cultures. You need to
Mhm.
try to understand, or at least respect that culture as it exists. You
Right.
know, every culture has problems.
Mhm.
You know,
Well, and that's
but
what the
if we can,
stories did.
if we can take the good parts out of each one of them,
Yeah.
you know,
Put them
maybe we can all get together and say, okay, on these things we agree. You
together.
know,
Hmm. Hmm.
and we can get along.
Hmm.
You know,
That's with
that's
normal people. I mean, that's with civilians. That's with normal people.
yes.
It's
Oh
like when you get the governing part of it in that totally wrecks it.
well,
Lawyers. It's like, oh no, you can't be nice to somebody.
no,
We've
no,
got
no.
to sue the shit out of them
There's
first.
no there, there's no money to be made in peace. Damn it.
Exactly.
Yes, there's
Exactly.
money to be made. There's money to be made when I spend $100,000
Hmm.
to blow up a $200 rocket, toy rocket.
Yeah. So there you go.
You know?
But a lot of the it just seems so crazy that and we do it every generation, every
Yes.
decade. You're gonna have you'll have the stuff that just falls behind and doesn't follow through. And that's like you'll hear a song that you haven't heard in 40 years
Hmm.
and you're going, "Holy cow, how did I forget about that?"
Yes.
Well, out of sight, out of mind.
Or you know what? You know what fascinates me
Hmm.
is when I hear a song that I know I haven't heard in 40 years,
Yeah.
and I still remember it. It's still in there. You know,
Yeah.
it's
It's
still in
still
there
there.
somehow. You know?
Know every word to it. You can hum along, sing along, whatever you want to.
Yes.
And you'll remember what you were doing the time you heard that
Yes.
song. And
Mhm.
sometimes you'll even remember what you were wearing.
Oh, I can't say that. No, can't say I've ever had that. I had that. No, nope. Nope. Can't remember that.
I'm just saying, you
I'm a
know,
guy. I'm a guy. I'm a guy.
right. But you might remember what
Guys,
she was
guys
wearing.
don't. Yeah, that could be. That's yes. Okay. I
Okay, that's what I'm getting
nice
at.
and white satin. Yes. Okay.
Oh man, that was a great song.
I do remember that song.
Yeah, that was a great song.
Oh.
But yeah, those kind of stories. I mean, we don't repeat those stories. We don't talk about our past personal history anyway. A lot of
Yeah.
times as a story to carry on. No good story starts out with I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was at work at 3:30. I worked in a damn steel mill until
Mhm.
4:30 in the afternoon. Then I had to come home and had to deal with three fucking kids. No
Yes.
good story, but
Those do not make good stories.
no, they don't.
Those are real life. You know.
Yeah.
Uh,
But we got so caught up with real life, we left our stories. We have forgotten them and we don't repeat them and we don't send them.
mhm. And that's I mean,
That's our fault.
yes, yes. Is it really?
It
Is it
is our
really?
fault. It is our fault
No,
because we
no,
didn't
no,
carry that
no.
story along.
I think there was a time, even in the worst. Well, okay, almost the worst. In a rural farmer in the 17th century or 18th century, okay, had slack time.
Mm-hmm.
You plant, you weed, and then you had about a month, you know. at least, until the plants start coming up. So,
Right.
I mean, yes, there's always something to do. Okay. But I'm not saying that. But now, I mean, good God, if people work 50, 60 hours a week, every week,
Mm-hmm.
for their entire flipping lives,
Mm-hmm.
and you just don't have, we don't have enough time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Over the past 40 years,
Mm-hmm.
okay, the productivity of workers, okay, has
Mm-hmm.
increased a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but our wages haven't gone up.
Right.
Okay. Our hours haven't gone down. Our hours have, their average hours worked are higher. So we're producing exponentially more,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not reaping reaping that benefit in free time.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that, like, in the 50s, and actually I can even tell you about the 60s. In the 60s, it was people had more free time.
Yes.
Okay, a lot of the things that they did as families, and that
Mm-hmm.
was local.
Yeah.
It wasn't you. Oh, we're going to Cancun for the weekend. No, it was we're going out to the lake this weekend.
Right. Right.
And
Exactly.
that was, but it was free time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it was time to get
Mm-hmm.
away, to share, and I'll tell you, a lot of that shit is. I don't know how people do it these days. I know I don't, but I'm an old fuck.
That's me. I'm about the same. I'm about the
Yeah,
same with that as well.
you know, but it's um, well, I look at uh, my niece's boys. You know, um, he's got two kids. One's 20. Oh, he's 25, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's got two kids now. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and they go to McDonald's. They go to McDonald's and it's $50, $60. You know, I mean, holy
It's
shit!
ridiculous.
It
Yeah.
just blows my mind. Not
Mm-hmm.
that I like McDonald's, but I understand.
Well, I mean, it's like if you get just, I think it's like $10 for if you get pick a number, pick a number
Yeah,
meal. It's at
yeah.
least $10.
Oh, there was something I did. I think I stopped at Taco Bell and got one of those number things. It was like $13.
Mm-hmm.
He fucking and it's dude, it's Taco Bell.
It's
It's not
Taco
that good.
Bell.
It's not that good.
No. Shit, I can get a jumbo margarita and some wings for that.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Exactly.
I can
Just
remember the first time because we didn't have Taco Bell where I grew up. So when I
mhm.
got up here into the Bowling Green area and I found Taco Bell and they had like their burritos were like 79 cents a piece, I'm like, yeah,
Yes.
sign me up. And I can remember the Mexican pizzas that they had. I'd get one of
Mhm.
those and I
Okay.
would get a quesadilla
Okay.
and I might pay $5.
Right.
Now,
Exactly.
like you said, you pull up and it's like 13 something. I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Where the hell did I pull into? Well,
This is not worth it.
no, absolutely. And um, where's I going with that?
Oh, sorry.
Your wages, I the hourly wage hasn't gone up, hasn't doubled over the past, what, 10, 15 years? No, It's pretty much where it was 15 years
Minimum
ago.
wage is, but a lot of these corporations are deciding on their own to pay people more to come work
Well,
for
they
them.
have to keep them at all.
Well, they have to even get somebody to come in to go to work.
Yes.
Period.
Exactly. Right.
I'm trying to think. I saw something. Oh, this is what blew my mind. School bus drivers. When I was on my way
Okay.
home,
Oh, yeah. Okay. This is going to be interesting.
so they put a big sign up on the side of a school bus that said, "School bus drivers, $17 an hour." What they don't tell you is that your whatever health insurance you get comes out of your check. They don't pay shit for that.
Yes.
Because I knew a lady that drove a school bus, and it
Mhm.
was, she brought home maybe $200 every time they paid her after they got
Okay.
done with her health insurance and stuff. Well, you can't live on that. You might be making $17 an hour,
Yes. Right.
but by the time they get, of course, they don't, it's working for the state, so they don't take Social Security or anything like that out. But still, your health insurance, come on.
Well, if you're working for the state, I mean, that almost sounds like it's a
Well, that's a Board of Education thing.
nine. You're being taken as a contractor. If you're not paying your health insurance, or you saying
If you're working for a school system, you're going to get hosed.
Yes. Okay.
So, and the only way you can make extra money, but I mean, because honestly, school bus drivers, they come in early in the morning, pick the
Oh,
kids up, take them to school. They have all day. They're not doing anything. Then
or
they,
a lot of bus drivers will do 2 routes.
yeah, they'll
Do an
pick them up
early
and take
morning
them
route
home.
for the high schools, and then a later route for the kindergarten kids and stuff like that.
Right. Well, see, and the bad part about it around here, there's not enough time difference between the schools opening that school bus drivers
Okay.
can do that.
Yeah.
If they want to pick up extra money, that's when you start hauling football teams, baseball teams, basketball teams around, which means you're not getting home until 11 o'clock at night, maybe. And then you're going to have to get up the next morning
And do that
early
morning.
to do your regular route.
Yep.
So, anyways, that's all those wonderful.
See, I don't know. That's just backs to
Hang on, I'll be right back.
we're not missing out on this stuff because it's a choice. It's disappearing. So many of these things are disappearing because the stresses and requirements of the society that we're living in just isn't cutting us any slack. You know, you keep working to make things better, but somehow the better never. It's the carrot and the stick. You know, you never that horse can never catch the carrot. So, oh my goodness, I didn't even pick my thing today. Excuse me. So where are we now? We are oh yeah, that's okay. See those, and they're going to be out there buying EVs. Oh yes, as soon as they graduate with their basket weaving technology.
I don't know who the hell's avatar that was. It wasn't mine. Let's see.
Mine. That was mine.
That's weird.
I don't know why it changed it, moved over to your hole or your slot. That's what mine is. I didn't even show one.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, wait, there they are. There they are.
Yeah. Speaking of stories, I'm going to pull up the YouTube and I want to put in the link from last night.
Sure.
And it was called not the show, but the link that I had Kevin put in there that he just slid in there. Nobody knew what it was, but it's a link to a documentary called the soundtrack to Ghost Story.
Ah.
So let me try, because it's a documentary of that place.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I hope I can find it. Here we go. Maybe. Nope. I gotta muddle through all the stuff that's in there. Here it is. Copy. Okay. Because this show, or this film was just, I mean, it was amazing. And I may be able to find the promo to it. Because seriously, it's music, it's people's perspective. It amazes me the perspective that people have on the same thing.
Okay.
So, like this is a group of artists that came together and did this, and artists are just, to me, are just amazing people because their mind works completely different than what mine does, because I'm not imaginative. I don't have that. I don't have what they do. Otherwise, I'd be a songwriter, musician, or whatever. But I'm hoping that I can, because, I've always had problems with this. That one. It won't let me also put in the... I don't know. This never lets me play, and I can't stay. Because so what I'm going to do is just put... I can't even put the whole damn screen.
Okay. I will see if I can...
Well, I tell you what, let me send you the link. Let me put in the link to this promo.
Okay.
Because you can get it to work and I can't.
Okay. You're going to send it in...
I'm going to put it in... It says, my browser has blocked your screen. Click the screen icon in your address bar to allow access. I ain't got time for that shit. Paste. All right. Here is the... I've put it in our chat.
Okay. I can't copy it from there. That's my problem.
Why are you so damn complicated tonight? I just don't get this.
I know. Send it to me in Messenger.
Okay.
I can get that up pretty quickly.
Let me get rid of this. It's dead air time. It's dead air time. What? Freaking ads.
Bobby Topper?
Share. Copy link.
Nope. Probably not.
Messenger or Skype?
Messenger, please.
Okay. All right. Because I really wanted this to be played last night. Because, like I said, this was part of the story of the hall. Because this just keeps going on. And what kind of drives me insane is the people that
Okay, a minute
screw
22.
this story up,
Okay.
and they want to make it evil and they want to make it bad.
Cue that up. Share screen.
This is a ghost story, set to music in a house full of life, death, love, war, and unimaginable loss. In a house holding on to something that it cannot let go of. Tragedy has collected in this place. Tales and rumors of hauntings have continued to surround the Octagon Hall for years. In 2013, a group of artists decided to live in the Octagon Hall for days and weeks at a time, submerging into the past, reading through memoirs, writing songs by candlelight, and experiencing the heavy spirit of this house. Outside of the comfort of studios and into the darkness of one of the most haunted places in the US, this group started with 3 writers working in the house and grew into a large band of musicians and artists who took their name from the soldiers who died here, the Orphan Brigade.
Now, that last little part there was more EVPs that were captured
Okay.
on the DVR system at the hall. This place is incredible, but that story that they did, it's really amazing, and it won several.
When did this take place? Just lately?
They started it in 2013,
Oh, okay.
and I think it was it 2014 when it was released. But it's a lot of the Nashville artists, videographers, or cinematic people,
Yes.
audio, whatever. They all get together and they decide what project they want to do. So these projects are submitted, and then they pick one, and they do it for nothing. So, anyways, they talked. There was one video. It didn't take them 2 freaking weeks to write these songs. But then they all got together and they got several different artists and things like that to come into the hall because it's acoustically perfect in that house.
Okay.
So there's one song where they lined people up all upstairs, all up and down the steps, and they sang a song, and it was just, they didn't need anything special for recording there.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is quite awesome.
I think you would enjoy the documentary because you actually need it because it's laid back, it's calm, it's dark, there's not a lot of bright lights. But yeah, no. I think you would enjoy it because it's
good.
Looking inside of each one of them has had several different experiences in that house.
Okay.
So they gathered from it. But there's a song on that, and they have an album. The album has all the songs on it. But there's one of them that's called White Horse, and it was all in the world it was is a little white rocky horse that's in Mary Elizabeth's room. And they come up with this damn song, and I'm like, holy cow, that's amazing to me.
Yes. But I don't see, like so many things.
We lose our
It's
history.
so it's so creative. It seems so creative,
Mhm.
but the creativity comes out of having the time to do it. You know, you
Yes, and
and God
that's
knows
their
I
bread and butter.
appreciate being retired. You know, because it's given me so much more time
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
to discover those insights, to go back
Right.
and look at things,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, oh God, like that's like the books I've read in the last year. Okay,
Yeah.
no, okay, okay. The last two I've read have been like over 500 pages each.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I could never have done that when I was working. Are you
Right.
kidding me? You
Mm-hmm.
know, um, I was, and that's where that's where you get to create the creative energy builds up
Mm-hmm.
when you have the time to just be a blank slate
Yes.
and let it flow from you, let it do it.
Yep.
When you're constantly boom, 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 gotta move, gotta.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Lose that.
no, it's hard for anybody to be creative,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to have have that insightful room to write on the screen of life.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. But see, that's their bread and butter, and that's how they make their
Oh,
living.
yes, oh
So they
sure.
have that creative, and they're at the end, that neighborhoods apart
Mm-hmm.
part of it. Those two, there's two of them that do the majority of the creating, and the it's incredible to see the stuff that they come up with, whether it's in animation or they can just go somewhere and look at an empty field and think this would be perfect to put this here and this here and that here, and we can
Mm-hmm.
make this all work. And it comes out absolutely beautiful. And it all comes from the camera angle, and they know how they want it to look, and they know they want to do it. So they get to tell their own stories on how they see things. And then and that's the music video stuff. So if you just heard a song and you were looking at it, I mean, just listening to it, you have your own idea of what that would look like. But then when you see the artist's creation of it, you're like, holy cow.
Mm-hmm.
That is absolutely amazing that somebody can come up with something like that.
Yeah,
So much better than what you could ever even think of. But that's why they make the big bucks, and you and I don't.
this is true.
Mhm.
But we didn't spend the 10 years starving and working a second job and doing uh, free concerts
Shit.
in a park somewhere
Mhm.
to gain that experience. You know,
Right. Right.
you know, believe me that the band thing, the chances of being a successful musician are
Is
like the
astronomical.
chances of being a successful
Mhm.
football player.
Right.
You know,
And see that, and all of their talents go beyond that. They're musicians, they're
yes,
writers, they're videographers,
artists.
cinematic,
Yes,
and then they meet the right people at the right time
yes.
with all of this stuff. So it's really amazing to me because I just
You take all the different colors and put them on
mhm.
the palette and throw them in the mix and just see what happens.
Yes,
And it's
that's
usually pretty freaking awesome.
yes. Yeah, it is. One of these days, maybe we'll be rich and we can just screw around with that stuff. Okay, maybe I can share this one with you. I'm going to try because it's not a video, it's just
Okay.
on the screen.
There's something. Ding.
Okay.
Ah.
Okay. This is one of the pictures they were taking. Now, do you see that white? You see the three guys in the paint up above them?
Mhm.
You see that
Yes.
object?
Okay.
The gentleman that took this picture took many pictures of this, and he was standing outside looking at the window to take their pictures. He watched that.
Are you telling me that's not photoshopped?
That is not photoshopped. He watched that morph many, many times,
Oh.
and just
Okay.
until it was not in that picture anymore. So that and that's what the hall does. And of course, those are antique windows. Those have not been.
Mhm.
That's original to the house. But the story that he was telling, he's like, I took the first picture and there was a little bit of that glare, and he's like, the more I took pictures, the more it morphed into that.
Oh my. I wonder how he did that. That's interesting.
Oh yeah, it's amazing the stuff that they encountered there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Matter of fact, I think it's not going to do very good. I'm gonna see if I can blow this up before I share it. I don't think I can. No, it's not going to work. But anyway, it's just incredible, some of the stuff that happened to them there, which it's another ghost story. It's great. But the funny part about that whole story is oh God, Jay, rim shot. Um, and it's PANES. Just saying. But there were a lot. That place was rental property in between
Mhm.
when Billy Bird took it over, and Dr. Williams, that owned the house, passed away. It was rental property. And there are some people that said that they had experiences there. There's some people that rented that place and they never had an experience.
Mhm.
Nothing ever happened.
We
So,
just have to. I'm becoming convinced that sometimes you just see what you bring with you. Okay.
hmm,
What you see, you see what you're ready to see.
yeah,
Okay.
I mean, you can ignore
Yeah.
anything. I mean,
Right.
big deal. You just saw something like dart by your head, but it's like me, I've got glasses on, so it's like I don't pay attention to any of that stuff because there's been plenty of times I thought I saw
Oh,
a flashing
I do
light.
that. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
I'll
And
see something move. I'll see something moving over here.
mhm,
And you catch it out of just the corner of the glass, especially
right.
glasses that have no that aren't framed. You'll
Mm,
catch like a prism effect.
yes.
Something
Yes.
will be right over here,
Mhm.
and you say, "Oh, that's nothing. That's nothing."
Well, see, and
But
there, and I'll do that.
you take your glasses off, and you still see it.
Yeah.
You
That's
know you've got a
when
problem. Yeah.
you got to take some, yeah. But there's been times I've come outside and I've sat down and it's dark out here, but I've got a light on in the house, so I might turn my head just right, and the light in the house
Mm-hmm.
makes it look
Yeah.
like something
Yeah.
out there in the sky.
Yeah.
Nope. So But anyways, are we going to do a show next week? I mean, it's Halloween. I don't know if anybody's going to be
Oh my
available.
God. I guess we'll take a poll. Speak up, people. You going to be here next week?
Yeah. Hell, it don't matter if they
I
are.
don't know. I'm not going to promise. I might not. I might be going.
Well, I was fixing to say,
I might go trick or treating. You know,
ooh, yeah.
go out and take.
What you need to do,
Go out and take some trick or treat pictures.
shoot,
All
go
my
wrap
little
yourself up in
munchkins.
toilet paper and go as a mummy.
Oh God.
Yeah. I kind of figure you want, I believe your
Anybody-
household will probably be pretty busy.
Yes. Yes. Yes, this is true.
Yep. And it's still Taco Tuesday.
Oh boy.
So, but yeah.
We have some special potato. What's a pumpkin drink?
Oh, I don't know. Don't screw with my margaritas.
We get like a pumpkin margarita.
Out there, one of my I've got 2, 3 supervisors, anyways.
Mhm.
Up the chain or whatever. And today she likes to put whipped cream in her coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And today she pulled out the pumpkin spice, and man, I started making fun of her, and she's. But anyway, it's a good thing we have a good relationship because I get away with saying stuff to her that nobody else can. Or maybe they're too scared to, but anyway.
Oh my God. So
It's
I guess
something that HR needs to be involved in, so we're good.
Yep. I think we've talked ourselves out of next week. So that's okay. We need to take a week off.
You're right.
I need to take a week off when I'm not sick.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. Before I don't know. I haven't missed that many this winter. Couple days. I felt that was really good for this season.
I was surprised I was here tonight. So
Uh-oh.
no, it's fall. They're harvesting
Yes.
corn, the soybeans, and the air gets a little bit fucked up, and so does my bronchitis. So
well, you got a little bit of a chill last night. I noticed you were all bundled up.
shit, it got. Well, it just okay. So it was anyway. It got up to 76 today, and boy. I think the low last night got down into the 40s, and that was
yeah,
it was a little chilly.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's supposed to be that cold. We're supposed to get a little bit of rain, and anyway, fucking winter's coming, and I'm going to be pissed off. Now, if it snowed the whole time, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as it gets cold and if it snowed the whole time till the mid-March, I'd be fine with winter. But no, it doesn't do that. It wants to blow wind and rain and be cloudy.
And rain and mud. That was the thing. That's the thing I hate. I don't mind snow that bad. Mm-hmm. It's the mud, because the snow melts and you get mud.
You get mud.
Forever mud. Yeah.
I think, what was it, last December, there was a certain point of time where it's like when winter comes, the wind starts blowing and it doesn't stop until June.
You got to get a windmill, baby.
I know. Every winter I could do my heat off of a windmill. But anyway, and if it depends on the temperatures, because I think in December of last year.
Oh, I did my road trip.
It was negative wind chills here, and I was pissed.
That I've been talking about for weeks.
Oh, yeah.
I said, I'm going to go find that windmill. I got to see what happened to it. It moved to the next farm down.
Oh, okay, good.
It's still there. Still working.
It's still there. Okay, good.
Yeah, now, man. That was a landmark.
Mhm.
I can look back there and say, yes, that's the future, man.
Yeah, there it is.
That thing's spinning like crazy.
Oh yeah, I could put that windmill like right here, and the north wind blows, and I wouldn't have to pay for heat ever.
Well, I see. Then you got to start looking at zoning regulations because they passed a state law in Ohio just I don't know 5 years ago, right after they started being popular, actually popular.
Mm.
Uh, that it had to be 1,000 feet from the road.
Okay.
Because, oh my God, they're going to be exploding. They're going to
Yeah.
be chopping up eagles, and okay,
Yeah. 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 It's no, I live in Edmonson County. We don't have any of that shit.
good for you. Keep
We
it
don't
that
have
way.
any of that.
Yeah.
We're good.
Duck soup.
Yes.
And I guess they have to go out, it must be tough running those windmills to have to take the dozer out every morning and scrape up all the birds.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my God.
Oh God. Your son's coming up with something else. It's like, but wait, there's more.
Oh my God.
All right, Jay, hurry up.
Come on.
We're waiting
Type
on
faster.
you.
Type faster, damn it.
Mm,
Oh my
yeah, I don't think he can. Anyways, he's like his father. So,
God. Are you smoking?
but okay, so we're not going to have a show next weekend.
No.
I smoke 100s.
No.
I don't do the Virginia slimes for 120s.
Oh my God. Was that the Virginia Slims 120s? They were like sucking on one of those
It's like sucking
drink
on a
straws.
toothpick.
Those little tiny drink straws.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
mm-mm.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Shouldn't do that. Well, guys, we're down to talking about. I think we've done a pretty good hour and a half. I feel like we've accomplished something today. We've kind of beaten my topic idea and dragged it up the road and down the road. And
Just go find one of the books that you read when you were
I
kid.
think that's going to be my next thing.
Just when you were a little kid.
So many of those.
Mhm.
You know what? I did that. I went to my library
Mm-hmm.
here,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually remembered the name of the very first science fiction book I ever read.
Ooh, what was it?
Lost Race of Mars.
Okay.
It was like a kid's adventure.
Oh, I bet.
Children on Mars get
Mhm.
lost
Mhm.
outside the habitat, and Mars was a lot friendlier then.
Mhm.
Mars was a lot nicer back in the
Oh, yeah.
early 1960s. You could practically go out and walk around. It was a little cold. As they found out later when they got the flybys, it was a lot more than just cold. But,
Oh, yeah.
back then it was a relatively friendly place.
Mhm.
And I had my library order in a copy,
Mhm.
and I sat and read that, and it was so like you were talking about things that take you back to
Yeah.
where you were then.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that was definitely an experience
Mm-hmm.
to take something that I knew, and I read it one time. You
Yeah.
know, so that would have been almost 60 years ago now,
Mm-hmm.
and my God, it was still it, it was like listening to a song that
Mm-hmm.
you hadn't thought about for 40 years.
Right.
I read that story and I said, oh my God, it's
Mm-hmm.
all still in there somewhere,
Yes.
And that was the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I could only find that science textbook, the other uh, dragged me in thing, you know,
Mm-hmm.
at about the same period of time. Uh,
Right.
I'm sure if I wanted to, I could find a copy of that somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like a hand me down book. So it was a high school science book,
Mm-hmm.
general science book,
Mm-hmm.
probably from the 1940s
Yeah.
when I got it and was reading and what are you gonna do? I'm gonna read that book.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, everything, yes. Uh, I can't imagine today.
Mm-hmm.
I've kept up with science textbooks
Mm-hmm.
from the kids and the grandkids through the years,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really terrible how watered down everything is now
Mm-hmm.
compared to what it was. Okay, that would be, geez, going on. It wouldn't be too much to say 100 years. What they were teaching in high school science class 100 years ago
Okay.
was a hell of a lot more than they're teaching today,
Yeah.
and a lot more complicated. Okay,
All they're doing now
because
is just teaching them to take tests.
they didn't dumb it down back then.
No.
Yes.
You know what? You said that, and it just reminded me of something. When I was freshman in high school,
Okay.
and I had these two friends. Of course, I knew of them. We went to different schools because middle schools were more localized than what the high schools were. And I knew these girls, but I didn't know them that well. And there were several times, I guess, I used words that they didn't know what they meant.
Hmm. Okay.
And they would stop and they'd look at me and it's like, what are you saying? What does that even mean? And I thought
Yeah.
at that time, I was like, oh, I need to dumb it down.
Yes.
I didn't I didn't
Uh
say
huh.
those words in my head, but I was like, oh, I
I
don't
better
need
not
to
talk
use the
like that. They're going to make fun of
vocabulary.
me.
I don't need to use the vocabulary that I
Hmm.
talk with my dad.
Oh, yes.
I don't
Yes.
need to use that language because
Hmm.
they ain't got that.
Right.
And the worst part about it is I never picked that back up. I never picked back up because I was around people that didn't understand that vocabulary. So
Yes.
I brought it down and
Hmm.
I never did that again, which is
Yep.
shame on me. I should have said, okay, here's your word for the day. This is what it means.
Yes.
But I didn't like it that I made them feel inadequate or dumb or whatever. So I just brought it down to their level and I just stayed there. which is probably, I mean, a huge mistake on my end, of course,
Yeah.
but it is what it is. They're a good group. It's worth it. It's worth it.
Yes. Always worth it. Okay. I'm about in. We got an hour and a half in.
Yep.
We
We're
got a
good.
plan for next. We got a plan to take it off next week. So
Not going to be here on Halloween. I've got shit to burn. Oh, wait. I said that out loud. Sorry.
okay. Everybody, thanks for sticking with us today. It's been great having you here. Been great talking to you and sharing this October evening with us. Maria, as always, thank you.
Thank you.
So, everybody have a good day. Have a
See
good
y'all in
weekend.
November.
Have a happy Halloween.
Yes.